Part 38. The soul travels through the 18th line, the female agent is killing crazy in the entertainment. Author, Bulletin Yehoyun Li. Chapter 371. After Chen Ling did some random tricks, she ended the performance and put the knife back into the sheath. Barrage. When she put the knife away, she also shook the blade. Oh my, so detailed. This is a simulation of putting away the knife in real life, shaking off the blood on the blade. It is easy to draw the knife, but difficult to put it away. She put the knife away so accurately, so neat, love it. The host was closest to Chen Ling, and he was forced to breathe hard by the knife light. Until Chen Ling put away the knife. The host took a breath and took a step forward. So cool. Teacher Chen must have worked hard to practice the knife. The host praised a few words and asked about the longbow on her back. Teacher Chen, I noticed the bow on your back, it's so long. Her bow was 1.65 meters long. Chen Ling nodded. The bow in ancient times was very long, but this is not too long. If it is too long, it will be inconvenient for filming. She is about 1.75 meters tall, and wearing small boots, she is about 1.78 meters tall. With the bow on her back, she looks particularly tall and straight. The host asked again, I guess you must have also put in a lot of effort to practice how to use the bow and arrow. This was a question arranged in advance by the crew. It was Chen Ling who took the initiative to say that she could perform archery at the opening ceremony. Although Chen Ling repeatedly assured that there would be no mistakes. Director Su was still sweating in his heart. If she hits the target, it will definitely make this drama famous online. If she misses the target, it will also be famous, but it will be negative. Chen Ling nodded, yes, I have been studying archery very seriously recently. Haha, are you cramming at the last minute? Hey, when you appeared, it was really amazing. Why do you have to add this link? If you miss the target, it will affect my mood when watching the drama. Chen Ling was not flustered at all. Putting aside her identity as an agent, she was a sharpshooter 800 years ago, hitting the target every time. Recently, she just reviewed a little and consolidated her archery skills. The host asked, can you perform it on the spot? Sure. Chen Ling looked around the scene and found the target. She handed the red tassel spear to the host, please help me hold it. The host took the red tassel spear and stepped aside. Chen Ling took the bow with her backhand, pulled the bowstring, checked the bow, and tried it. She pulled out a black arrow from the quiver. Chen Ling pointed to a place outside the venue and said in a clear voice, I want to shoot the word blood on the sign. Outside the opening ceremony, there were many promotional signs. There were photos of the actors. There was also the title and author of the novel, written on the top of a huge sign, Song of Light and Blood. P.S. I originally wanted to write a modern novel theme, and named it Concerto. Later, it was changed to Yeshao Kaiu's costume novel, so the three words concerto are not appropriate. I changed it, please forgive me. This signboard is at least 60 meters away from Chen Ling. And the bloody word is only the size of a fist. Isn't this too difficult? Director Su muttered in his heart. At the same time, he also blamed Chen Ling for showing off. It was obvious that he only needed to shoot the signboard. He had to raise the difficulty to hell. Before Director Su thought too much, everyone present had no time to prepare, and saw Chen Ling holding the bow in his left hand and pulling the string with his right hand to put the arrow directly. The 1.6 meter bow was pulled into a half-moon shape at once, and the bowstring was taut. After pulling the bow to the full, Chen Ling seemed to let go without even aiming. Swoosh! Chen Ling was very stable. That was the accuracy accumulated through actual combat duels over a long period of time, and the confidence condensed from countless blood, tears, and sweat. The black arrow flew straight to the sign. The next second, it pierced the word blood fiercely. It made a buzzing sound. The tail of the arrow and the huge sign swayed slightly a few times. Hiss. Everyone at the scene gasped collectively. Then, almost everyone applauded. Barrage. Too awesome, so accurate. I haven't prepared yet, she shot. It feels like she didn't even aim, isn't this too accurate? Hee hee, you guys are a bunch of brainless people, the bow must have been rigged, or there must be a super strong magnet behind the word blood that sucked it over. Too fake. But, it takes a lot of arm strength to draw a bow, can ordinary people draw it so curved? The host should try to pull it, that's how to distinguish the authenticity. What's the point of the host pulling it, can't it just cooperate with her performance? Not only are there doubts online, there are doubts at the scene. A photographer from a media photography team raised a question, excuse me, can I try this bow? Chen Ling glanced at him and nodded, sure, please come up. I know this photographer, he is an archery enthusiast, he won the silver medal in the Asian amateur archery competition before. Ready to slap him in the face. Yeah, embarrassed for Chen Ling. I say, Chen Ling is going to slap you netizens in the face. The soul travels through the 18th line, the female agent is killing crazy in the entertainment. Author, Buletin Yehoyun Li. Chapter 372. The photographer gave his camera to his colleague and walked up the stairs to the stage. He bowed to Chen Ling first. Hello, Teacher Chen. Then, he took the long bow handed over by Chen Ling with both hands. The photographer held the bow in his left hand and tried to pull the string. Good weight. Although the photographer was mentally prepared, he was still surprised. Is Chen Ling really serious? Seeing that his posture was standard, Chen Ling handed him an arrow feather. Chen Ling did not give him the arrow because he was concerned about the people present. The photographer pressed the arrow feather against the arrow string and pulled it apart. He only pulled Chen Ling halfway, and he couldn't pull it anymore. However, there were so many people watching. The man's pride caused him to secrete a crazy amount of adrenaline. Then, he used all his strength, gritted his teeth and stared, and the veins on his forehead and neck popped out. He tried his best to pull it open a little further, but couldn't pull it anymore. It's not even close to Chen Ling's. The photographer let go. Buzz, the headless arrow flew out. The bowstring trembled. The photographer felt the tiger's mouth shake violently. A bow of this level is really too heavy. Only true experts know how awesome Chen Ling is. The photographer was convinced at this moment and handed over the bow with both hands. Teacher Chen, you are so awesome. Chen Ling said gently, maybe you are not used to using this kind of bow, but it is very powerful to be able to draw it to this level. It was only after repeated practice that I was able to draw it to the current level. The eldest sister's head is so gentle it's even handed down the stairs. She said practice over and over again, my Lingling really made great efforts for this role. Dear friends who just said that they were going to slap Chen Ling in the face, let me ask you if your face hurts? We weren't there anyway, so it wasn't just what they said. Stop bragging, if Chen Ling was really that good at archery, he might as well win the Olympic championship. Everyone has his own ambitions. Who says success is only achieved by being an Olympic champion? Is it so difficult to admit that others are great? Is it true that only someone with the same level as an Olympic champion can be considered great? She is an actress, not an athlete. Forget it, everyone, you can never wake up a person who is pretending to sleep. The host wanted to ask Chen Ling another question, but Chen Ling smiled and raised his hand to stop him. My other actor friends have been waiting backstage for too long. She smiled and reminded kindly. The host was negligent. He quickly made up for it, ha ha ha, the main reason is that our teacher Chen looks so good that we can't help but ask a few more questions. Next, we invite the male protagonist, Chen Yuxu, to come on stage. Chen Ling walked to the chair next to the stage and sat down. Chen Yuxu came out from behind the stage. He wore a green robe and a high hair crown. He looked noble, refined, and not slow, and his movements showed a mature and steady demeanor. As the book says, a martial arts master who behaves like a scholar. Chen Yuxu is handsome, with a gentle and noble temperament. As soon as he came out, the barrage flashed past like snowflakes. I have heard of Chen Yuxu before, but I didn't expect him to be so handsome. If Chen Yuxu hadn't gotten married and retired, he would definitely be the #1 in China now. For those who are interested, you can go watch his movies and TV series. Really, you won't lose money by investing in it. We can trust Shadow Song's aesthetics. Both the male and female protagonists fit my image very well. I lost my fandom because of Chen Yuxu's marriage. Now, I understand, he is the perfect man. Have you really retired for so many years for your wife? At this time, the host made a routine inquiry. Oh, Teacher Chen, I'm a loyal fan of yours. I love every drama you play, the host said sincerely. I'm glad you can return to the screen. Chen Yuxu smiled warmly, thank you. Excuse me, why do you want to return to the film and television industry this time? The host asked. This is also a matter of arrangement by the crew. Let Chen Yuxu himself clear the names of him and his wife. There are too many fake news on the internet about Chen Yuxu's return to the screen. Some said that Chen Yuxu spent all his savings on gambling. Some said that Chen Yuxu had an affair during marriage and was about to divorce his wife, so he returned to the screen. He also said that his wife is an insatiable person. Chen Yuxu retired from acting and his wallet was greatly reduced, so he was forced to start filming again. Chen Yuxu took the host's microphone and pondered for a moment. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. The soul travels through the 18th line, the female agent is killing crazy in the entertainment. Author, Bulletin Yehoyun Li. Chapter 373. Actually, when I quit acting, it was also for my wife. Because many fans scolded my wife. I thought that if I quit acting, they would gradually lose their fans, and no one would attack her. Chen Yuxu said word by word. But actually, I really like filming. I like to speculate on the mood of the characters in the play. Every time I film, I feel like I am reborn and live as a character in the play. I like this experience. Acting makes my life full of infinite possibilities. This audition for Light and Blood was because of my wife. The audience at the scene and in front of the screen pricked up their ears. Holy shit. It's really because of his wife? Chen Yuxu is really a good man. You see, every time he mentions his wife, his tone is very gentle. It is said on the internet that it was because his wife disliked Chen Yuxu for not filming, and her money was tight, so she asked him to come out. No matter what the reason is, I am glad that he can play the male lead. The entertainment industry has been suffering from ugly men for a long time. Chen Yuxu roamed the scene with his eyes, and soon he saw his wife waving her arms. He smiled. A smile spread across his eyes. He said softly, because my wife is a fan of Light and Blood, she wants me to participate in the show. This reason is something I didn't expect. This handful of dog food. I'm here to watch the opening ceremony, not here to eat dog food. The single dog received a critical hit of 10,000 points. I originally wanted to live my whole life alone, but Chen Yuxu and his wife made me really want to fall in love. I also want a boyfriend like this. The host covered his chest. Teacher Chen, I envy your wife so much. Chen Yuxu smiled and said, really? In fact, I envy myself. Sometimes I wake up laughing from my dreams, and I actually caught her. She is smart, witty, kind, brave, and funny. Every day with her is full of fun. It makes me full of expectations for every day in the future. I love my wife and I am willing to do everything for her, everything. I believe in love again. But, Chen Yuxu is putting on a show, right? His wife is really not that good looking. Let me tell you, for a person of Chen Yuxu's level, his vision and upbringing make him transcend the average person's understanding of a partner. In other words, he can choose his wife presumably, except for her skin, his wife does not meet the modern public's aesthetics, but in other aspects, she should be far better than most women. Chen Yuxu exchanged a few words with the host. Chen Yuxu bowed, let's invite our actor friends from behind to appear. Then came Zhao Weiyu who played Mu Qingxuan, Gao Hang who played Green Tea, Tang Qing who played Green Tea, Xie Haoang who played Black Tea, Zhou Jin who played Yellow Tea, Shen Siren who played White Tea, and Bai Qingcan who played Black Tea, in order walked out. The host went about his routine and everyone interviewed a few words. Among them, Bai Qingcan, who plays the role of Black Tea, won the highest praise. After all, Bai Qingcan is a quasi-second-tier female star, heading towards the top tier, and has a huge number of fans. She was wearing a long red gauze dress, and her long black hair was like a waterfall. Bai Qingcan wears red eyeshadow and delicate red lips. She looks like a blooming red rose, gorgeous but not tacky. Mamma mia! Sister Qingcan. Love it so much. This appearance. Teacher of the production crew, I want to solicit donations from thousands of people to add drumsticks to the costume team, prop team, and makeup artist. The host obviously also knew that Bai Qingcan's topic was very popular, so he spent more time interviewing her. I routinely asked Bai Qingcan about her understanding of the characters in the book and her outlook for the show. Bai Qingcan's answers were all beautiful. The host asked again, Teacher Bai, why do you want to play such a role? After all, it's just a supporting role. Bai Qingcan's status allows him to choose any script with the heroine. This is where many people are confused. Bai Qingcan smiled sweetly and blew a kiss to Chen Ling. She flipped up her long hair, looked at the camera, and said half jokingly and half seriously. Because Yeshao Kaiu is played by Chen Ling, I am a loyal fan of Chen Ling. And I feel the same as Hong Cha in the play. I like her, support her, and want to be close to her. Whether it's a supporting role or not, it doesn't matter at all. The soul travels through the 18th line, the female agent is killing crazy in the entertainment. Author, Buletin Yehoyun Li. Chapter 374. There was a roar of cheers in the audience. Bai Qingcan didn't care, and continued with a wave of eyes, Chen Ling is here, so I came. Fortunately, I was chosen. Otherwise, I would just be jealous of the actor who was chosen to play the role of Black Tea. I will definitely cherish this opportunity and play this role well. Barrage. Didn't Bai Qingcan once hate Chen Ling? I remember it was because Chen Ling once shamelessly chased her brother Bai Muchuan. The three of them are all from the same company, so they are cooperating with the company's hype. Why do I feel so angry when I hear Bai Qingcan's words? Ah, the lilies in my hometown are blooming? He actually went for Chen Ling. Hello. Sister Sen, Chen Ling is my wife? What should I do if my wife is too good? Every day someone wants to interfere with our marriage. Sister-in-law, you broke another one. According to gossip reports, Chen Ling once risked his life to rescue Bai Qingcan from a crazy fan. Bai Qingcan was not as calm as she seemed. She thought that after so many years of debut, she had developed a thick skin. But after saying these words, her face turned slightly red, and she didn't even dare to make eye contact with Chen Ling who was sitting by the stage. Chen Ling reached for the microphone on the table and turned on the switch. I will also perform well and try not to let you down. Sister Hong Cha, I love you and I will protect you well. Bai Qingcan was stunned and looked up at Chen Ling. Chen Ling sits upright, wears a white robe and silver armor, and has long black hair tied into a ponytail. He looks forward with a dashing air. Her eyes were serious. Just like in the book, the 6 guardians are willing to protect their patriarch with their own lives. And the patriarch is the same. Fans at the scene screamed. Ah! I can rest in peace even if I die now. God, even though I know it's hype, but I still couldn't help but think of the plot in the book once. Hung Cha almost had his throat cut by an enemy, and Yeshao Kaiu caught the blade with his palm at the last moment. I cried. Who can stand up to such a patriarch? I finally know why so many people in ancient times were willing to die for their masters. I once said that no one can be worthy of my sister Cen. Now I want to say that if it is Chengling, it is very good. Bai Qingqin's scalp was numb. Although she knew that the love Chengling was talking about was the love of friends and sisters, she was still so happy that she almost fainted. The host stepped forward. Such sisterly love is so touching. I wonder if the male protagonist has a sense of crisis. The people in the audience laughed. I didn't expect that we would see such wonderful scenes before the filming of the TV series even started. The host said a few more words and made a concluding speech. Today's opening ceremony is here, it's coming to an end. There were regretful ah sounds from the audience. But the host holds the microphone and raises his voice. Our crew has also prepared a special session for all our dear viewers. I would like to invite Jang Kyun to sing live the theme song of Song of Light and Blood, The Brave, which he wrote and composed himself. The media and fans at the scene were all stunned. Who? Jang Kyun? Live singing? Oh my god. Is it so exciting? Jang Kyun, King of River Songs. Actor Jang. What a pomp. We are on the same stage, we are on the same stage, big sister and little brother Jang are on the same stage. Mom asked me why I made pig noises. My Kyun wrote the lyrics by himself, composed the music by himself, and performed and sang by himself. The live broadcast room is about to burst, you are so crazy. The scene was in a state of excitement. Amidst the cheers and screams, Jang Kyun walked onto the stage wearing a black ancient robe, a black mask that half covered his eyes and exposed his mouth, and holding a simple war drum in his hand. The soul travels through the 18th line, the female agent is killing crazy in the entertainment. Author, Bulletin Yehoyun Li. Chapter 375. Jang Kyun has never worn all black before. Especially the black mask covering half of his face, which can highlight the superiority of his facial features, clear jawline, high nose bridge, thin lips. He is cold and unapproachable. He holds the war drum like this, and the wind blows his robe. He looks like the chief priest of the tribe. Jang Kyun. Jang Kyun. The people in the audience shouted Jang Kyun's name crazily. Some of those who came to participate in the opening ceremony today are fans of Chengling, some are fans of Chen Yuxu, and some are fans of Bai Qingqin. But most people are also fans of Jang Kyun. Even if they are not fans of Jang Kyun, they will become fans when they see such a handsome guy walking. Jang Kyun, I love you. Ah. The shutter buttons of major media and studio photographers in the audience were almost smoking. Fans who heard the news in the live broadcast room swiped the barrage quickly. If you don't block the barrage, you can't see the face at all. Jang Kyun calmly carried the war drum and walked to the middle of the stage amid the shouts. Stand still. He nodded in several directions. Then, he lifted his robe and sat cross-legged on the ground. The war drum was placed between his legs. The fans shouted wildly for nearly a minute before the boiling atmosphere on the scene gradually subsided. During this period, a staff member came forward and set the microphone stand next to Jang Kyun. And adjust the microphone height to the lowest level, about the same height as Jang Kyun sitting. Jang Kyun cleared his throat. The scene was boiling again. Jang Kyun raised his index finger and whispered shhh to the audience. The fans covered their chests and shouted silently. Jang Kyun raised the corner of his mouth slightly, and then he put his hand on the war drum. Dong 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 dong. He clapped his hands. The drums sounded rhythmically. At first they were scattered, then they became more and more frequent. People's breathing became more and more tense with the drums, and finally, dong. Jang Ki-eun looked up and imitated the sound of the war horn, woo. The people at the scene and in front of the screen were all goosebumps by the lifelike sound of the war drums and horns. The soundtrack sounded in the background. After a section, he beat the drum rhythmically and sang. The dawn is coming, the light of dawn. Hope and dream are burning in the heart. Iron-blooded glory, the symbol of struggle. Warriors, never bow your heads. Perseverance and fearlessness. Walking in the wind and rain, dancing in the cold winter. Blood, tears, and suffering, all become helpers. Every fall is an opportunity to start. Brave, raise your head. Sing the song of victory. Brave, you are our morning star. Our compass. Guide us in the direction of progress. Your light. Illuminate all the dark nights. Give us hope. Give us courage. Faith is like fire, leading the future. Brave heart, fighting beat. Cleanse the darkness, ignite hope. Faith and hope. Light up the lantern of life. Chase dreams, move towards the road of glory. Blood is connected, pursue glory together. Our light will illuminate every corner of the world. Every corner. At first, the song was sad, with a hint of depression and unwillingness. Following the drum beats, he sang more and more passionately. He was the only one singing, but people could hear the spirit of thousands of horses galloping and two armies confronting each other. Especially after singing the word brave, his voice suddenly became high-pitched, full of fighting spirit. No longer sad, no need to be unwilling, no need to be confused. They had the guidance of the brave. They followed the footsteps of the brave and spread the fire of hope to the world. This song reached a height that Jang Ki-eun had never reached before. He was originally a fan of Big Sister and Yinga. When he knew that Yinga was Chengling, he suddenly realized. Jang Ki-eun's realm was sublimated. He had a new understanding of life. For this song, he didn't need to deliberately show off his skills, but the sound followed his heart. Big Sister is his life mentor. Chengling is the brave written in the song. These days, he listened to Alexei and his mother talking about the brilliant, magnificent but short life of Special Engineering Ling. He found the inspiration for the song The Brave from the past of Special Engineering Ling, from Yeshao Kaiu written by Yinga, and from the big sister he knew. Chengling is like a morning star. She shines in the dark sky, redeeming people in difficulties and guiding confused people to move forward, forward. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. The soul travels through the 18th line, the female agent is killing crazy in the entertainment. Author, Bulletin Yehoyun Li. Chapter 376. Jang Ki-eun slapped the drum heavily. The exciting drum beats spread across the venue. The music gradually faded. The ending seemed to pluck people's heartstrings and cause a slight tremor in their souls. There was a roar in the live broadcast room. Ah, the melody of this song is so catchy, I can already hum along. The lyrics are so well written. In our history, every time a nation is at the brink of life and death, someone will stand up and forge ahead. They lead us forward in adversity, fighting for this nation, for ourselves, and for our dreams. I am a fan of the book. From this moment on, I declare that I am a fan of Jang Ki-eun, crying to death. He really understands Song of Light and Blood. How many heroes, especially women, are all nameless heroes. As a female matriarch, Yeshao Kaiu faced more challenges and hardships, but she did not give up. She is a hero. At the opening ceremony, the microphones and speakers were not professional, and they could never be compared with a recording studio or a concert. This song has a melodious melody and profound lyrics. Playing it with an almost pale accompaniment, it actually highlights the sincerity of the song. After the song was finished, Jang Ki-eun put his hands on the drum and closed his eyes. After a long while, he pulled himself out of the emotion of the song. There was applause from the stage and the audience. Everyone has a different interpretation and understanding of this song. Whether it is high-spirited, lost, or painful, the memories evoked bring them different emotions. Jang Ki-eun stood up holding the drum. He bowed deeply to everyone. The host walked over quickly, his eyes slightly moist, and his voice slightly hoarse. "Teacher Jang, this is great. This is the best song I've heard this year, no, in the past 5 years. This song will definitely go viral." Jang Ki-eun smiled, "Thank you." The host asked, "Why did you choose to write such a theme song for the Song of Light and Blood? How did you write such lyrics?" Jang Ki-eun's life has been smooth sailing, and it stands to reason that he shouldn't have such deep emotions. Jang Ki-eun explained briskly. "I wrote the theme song for the Song of Light and Blood because my girlfriend and I are both die-hard fans of Yinga." Host. Everyone at the scene. Live broadcast room. Everyone collectively entered a state of stagnation. Jang Ki-eun continued. "In addition, my girlfriend and I are also fans of Big Sister Changling. Big Sister has helped me, my family and friends many, many times. This is why I wrote this song. She is the hero in my lyrics. I hope everyone will try to accept her. If you really can't accept her, please don't attack her. She is really a very, very good person. I just arrived, and there is such explosive news, movie king Jang Ki-eun has a girlfriend. I thought that people would not eat 2 different flavors of dog food in one day, I was wrong. Too much information, the processor is overloaded and crashed and restarted. Isn't Jang Ki-eun gay? How can you say he has a girlfriend? It is said that many homosexuals also like to call their other half girlfriend /. The soul travels through the 18th line, the female agent is killing crazy in the entertainment. Author, Buletin Yehoyun Li. Chapter 377. Mike's phone has been on the go since Jang Ki-eun's official announcement. It was shaking like a sieve in his trouser pocket. He was too lazy to even look at it. It had nothing to do with him anyway. Whoever wants to serve can serve. The crew members on the stage applauded Jang Ki-eun. Jang Ki-eun took the microphone and shouted, "Song of Light and Blood, it's a hit." Then, he bowed again and walked backstage from the stage amid the fans' calls and praises. As soon as he returned to the backstage, he saw Mike with a calm face. Jang Ki-eun grabbed Mike's hand and whispered, "How was it? Was there anything wrong with my singing just now?" Mike thought to himself, "There was nothing wrong with your singing. But there was something wrong with what you said." Jang Ki-eun was surprised to see his agent so calm. "Mike, I thought you would scold me." Jang Ki-eun smiled. "Actually, I want to tell you that you are also a hero in my life. You have helped me so much. I have always wanted to find an opportunity to thank you, such as giving you a holiday, or reducing your work, but it is not realistic. Because I can't live without you. So, I decided to give you half of all the income generated by this song. The legal department of our studio has drafted the relevant contract documents. You can check it when you have time. If there is no problem, you can sign it and it will take effect." Mike crossed his hands in front of his chest and let go. "Half of all the income from this song? Give it to yourself?" Mike was a little confused. Jang Ki-eun said, "Actually, I have always wanted to find an opportunity to announce my relationship. I feel like a thief when I am dating without telling everyone. Hiding my relationship is unfair to my fans and my girlfriend. If my fans don't accept my relationship, they can give up following me in time." Mike looked at Jang Ki-eun. This man with a full halo has clear and clean eyes, as if he has never been tainted by filth and maintains a sincere heart. Jong Ki-eun didn't tell Mike before the official announcement. Because Mike is a qualified agent. From the agent's perspective, if Mike knew Jong Ki-eun's plan in advance, he would definitely stop him. Mike said slowly, "So, you chose to announce it today to make Light and Blood more popular and to make this song a big hit. Jong Ki-eun is not short of fame, let alone money. There is only one possibility for him to do this, he is for his friends. Cheng Ling and himself. To build momentum for Cheng Ling and the crew, to make Mike's wallet fatter." Mike stood on tiptoe and put his arm around Jong Ki-eun's shoulders. "Brother Yoon, do you have any other revelations? Reveal one more. This way the song can be sold at a higher price." "Do you want to die?" Jong Ki-eun looked at him coldly. "Do you think I'm a popcorn machine? Pop it from time to time." Mike laughed softly. This person is really hard to get angry with. Mike patted Jong Ki-eun on the shoulder. "Let's go." "Where are you going?" "Back to the studio to do crisis PR. My phone is flooded with calls and text messages." The host stood on the stage, and the crew's director, producer, and main actors stood on the stage and bowed to the audience. "Thank you all for coming to support us," the host said loudly. "The opening ceremony of Song of Light and Blood has ended. Let us look forward to Song of Light and Blood meeting you on the screen. Thank you all." Asterisk. Thousands of miles away. Jong Ki-eun walked into the No Way to Retreat bar. The bar was dimly lit, but there were not many people at the moment. The style of the bar was a bit like a pirate's cabin, with wine jugs, skulls, long pirate scimitars, and oak barrels piled in the corners. Thin ropes hung from the ceiling, and small lights were on the door, just like the starry sky. On a small stage in the corner of the bar, a man with dreadlocks was playing guitar and singing reggae music. People in the bar were either swaying to the music or clinking glasses and laughing and chatting. He looked around and found only one empty seat next to the bar. Jong Ki-eun walked over. Next to the empty seat sat a tall white man with blonde hair and blue eyes, a strong body, and quite handsome. The blue-eyed man held a glass in one hand and shook the whiskey in the glass without rhythm, and the spherical ice cubes hit the glass. In his other hand, he held a mobile phone to his ear and talked casually. "Ken, are you annoying? I've already said that I'm fine. Take care of yourself while I'm away." "Noisy?" "Because I'm in the bar." The blue-eyed man took a sip of wine. The test results matched, which was expected. "I just couldn't help but feel a little irritated." Jong Ki-eun sat down. The blue-eyed man noticed someone coming around him and turned to look at Jong Ki-eun. The two people's eyes met in the air. The alarm bells in their hearts rang at the same time. The soul travels through the 18th line, the female agent is killing crazy in the entertainment. Author, Bulletin Yehoyun Li. Chapter 378. The man with blue eyes was none other than Nolan, the current captain of the H Rangers, nicknamed Sparrow. 10 hours ago, he got the DNA test report of Alizé. The report showed that the dead hand scent had a 99.99% match with Alexei's DNA sequence. Even though he was mentally prepared, an indescribable sadness swept over him. He foresaw the future of all the members of their H Rangers. They will never be free forever. Nolan felt a strong sense of suffocation. Staying in this so-called free country, Nolan felt like he couldn't breathe. So, he chose a mission in Country Y, to relax and adjust his mood. When he arrived in Country Y, he went straight to the No Escape bar. Then he saw Jong Ki-eun walking up to him. The two looked at each other silently for a while, and then looked away at the same time. Jong Ki-eun took off his full backpack and gently placed it at his feet. The toys inside made a sound of metal colliding. Nolan's blue eyes scanned the bulging backpack, with an intriguing expression on his face. "Oh. Is this a warning? Warn yourself not to act rashly?" Jong Ki-eun didn't look at Nolan anymore, took a long step and sat on the high stool. At this time, the boss walked to the bar carrying the strong rum he had just taken out from the wine cellar. Rum. The boss waved the bottle in John Killen's direction. John Killen raised his eyebrows, white overproof at Hampton Manor. It seems that I am really lucky. The bar owner likes people who know how to drink. He smiled heartily, unscrewed the bottle cap, and took out 2 glasses. The slightly yellow liquid, like amber, exudes a sweet and fragrant aroma. The boss handed John Killen a glass. John Killen raised his glass and clinked it with the boss. "Cheers," said the boss. "Cheers." John Killen took a sip, swirled the wine around the tip of his tongue, pressed it against the roof of his mouth, and swallowed it. "The flavor is pure. I love the cherry and smoky flavor." The boss gave a thumbs up and drank all the wine in his glass. "If you need anything, just tell me and the store clerk," the boss said. "Okay." John Killen nodded. The boss said a few words to the bartender nodded, and the boss went to other tables to chat with the guests. When John Killen's glass was empty, the bartender poured him another half glass. Nolan watched all this with his peripheral vision, secretly guessing John Killen's identity. Nolan originally attracted a lot of attention just sitting here. Now there is a handsome Oriental boy, John Killen. Both have their own styles. This inconspicuous corner has become the most attractive part of the bar. The 2 men were also interested in each other, but neither one took the initiative to speak. They each held a glass of wine and were silent, taking a sip from time to time. What is his identity? What is he doing in this bar? Both of them were speculating in their minds. In the middle of the bar, there was a table of 4 or 5 scantily clad young girls sitting around. They looked at John Killen and Nolan frequently. After chattering and pushing for a while, a braver girl came over to the 2 of them holding a wine glass. He walked until he was behind the 2 people and stopped. She hesitated for a moment. "Which man should I talk to?" The man with blue eyes and blonde hair has several hideous scars on his arms exposed by his half-sleeved t-shirt. He looks a bit like an American soldier. "I heard that they don't care much about women." "And the handsome black-haired Oriental guy?" She swallowed. "It's so rare to see. He has the mysterious temperament of a noble gentleman. It's a pity, he exudes a strong aura of keeping strangers away from him." The girl had a strong premonition that she would definitely hit a wall with an Oriental man. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. The soul travels through the 18th line, the female agent is killing crazy in the entertainment. Author, Buledin Yehoyun Li. Chapter 379. So, the girl gave up John Killen. She held the wine glass and said to Nolan with a smile, "Sir, you are sitting alone and feel lonely. It just so happens that I am bored too. Why don't I buy you a drink and then dance together?" Nolan turned his head. The girl's expression showed that she was determined to win. However, there was a reason why she was confident and courageous. The girl was quite beautiful. Her eyes were big and bright, like black pearls, her skin was honey-colored, and her figure was hot. His eyes swept over the girl's gorgeous face and her curvy curves. If it had been a few minutes earlier, he would have accepted the girl's invitation. But now, he was more interested in the Oriental man who had just sat down next to him. "Sorry, I'm in a bad mood today." Nolan turned around and held up the wine glass. "You can go find someone else." The girl was obviously stunned for a moment. She subconsciously looked back at her companions at the table. The girls at the same table smiled encouragingly at her and pointed at John Killen next to her. The girl took a breath, turned her face, and was about to speak to John Killen. John Killen raised a hand. Stopped her. "Please don't bother me, thank you." Too direct. It was a bit hurtful. The girl had never encountered such a situation before. In such a short time, she was rejected by two men. With tears of humiliation in her eyes, she returned to her table. Her companions hurried over to comfort her. Nolan on the side could not pretend to ignore John Killen. He turned his face and looked at John Killen unconcealedly. John Killen noticed Nolan's side next to him, and turned his face, staring at Nolan with indifference. Nolan grinned, then raised his glass. "Sir, why did you reject her?" John Killen also raised his glass and asked back, "Didn't you reject her too?" "Because she didn't choose you first. Do you feel offended?" Nolan was very direct. No. John Killen's black eyes stared at Nolan's blue eyes. "I'm just not interested in her." "Oh," Nolan raised his eyebrows with interest and looked at John Killen's slightly raised buttocks. "Are you gay?" John Killen. Many men around pricked up their ears. Nolan misunderstood John Killen's silence and asked, "Are you interested in me? Are you on top or on the bottom?" John Killen interrupted him coldly, "I'm not gay." The men around who were listening with their ears pricked up obviously sighed. John Killen was a little speechless. Is there something special in the air of this country? Everyone is like in heat. Nolan was rejected and showed a regretful expression on his face. "Then why are you here?" Nolan picked up the glass again. "All the guests who come to this bar are here to find exciting one-night stands." "No comment," John Killen said. He picked up the glass again. This time, he drank very slowly, and most of the time, he just used alcohol to moisten his lips symbolically. John Killen has a good alcohol tolerance. But he came to Country Y to find clues. The security here is not good. For the sake of safety, he can't drink too much. John Killen put on a cold face, but Nolan seemed to be unable to read people's faces. He came up and continued to ask, "You are such a dash." Nolan bent his index and middle fingers on both hands and made an American quotation mark gesture. "Why would a clean person come to Country Y?" John Killen looked at him. "This has nothing to do with you." "Maybe we have the same goal." Nolan finally returned to his seriousness and put away his American dry humor. A sharp light flashed in his blue eyes. John Killen had a blank expression. "I don't understand what you are saying, sir." Nolan shrugged. "Forget it if you don't understand." Nolan picked up the wine glass again. He lowered his voice and said, "I don't know if you were sent by the buyer or the seller, but I advise you to stop if you can. No matter how much money you have to live to spend it." John Killen's heart moved. Buyer? Seller? Is there a transaction going on in Country Y? Why did the bar owner take the initiative to go out to greet him? Did he misunderstand his identity? The soul travels through the 18th line. The female agent is killing crazy in the entertainment. Author, Bulletin Yehoyun Li. Chapter 380. And what is the transaction, what is it? John Killen pondered. The blond man in front of him gave John Killen a vague sense of familiarity. The way he spoke, his style, the routine he used to test the other party's identity reminded him of someone. Alexei. Could it be that the man in front of him was a member of the H Rangers? It wouldn't be such a coincidence, right? John Killen thought about it and didn't contact Chen Ling. What if the man in front of him was really a former member of Chen Ling's team? Now is definitely not the best time to contact Chen Ling. It's better to be safe than sorry. Later, when we get to a safe place, we will find a way to verify it with Chen Ling. Nolan saw that John Killen was slow to speak and thought he had the idea of retreating. He said, "If you want to leave now, it's not too late. I can take you out of Country Y safely." John Killen shook his head. "No, I won't leave. If you are afraid of getting in trouble, please keep your distance from me." Nolan frowned. Bang. There was a loud noise. The door of the bar was kicked open by someone. The door bounced against the wall of the bar, and then bounced back, shaking. Everyone in the bar was startled. At this time, a strong man nearly 2 meters tall strode in from outside. This strong man was an Asian man, about 25 or 26 years old. This man had extremely developed muscles, like a thick layer of armor attached to him. The man had small eyes, short and thick black hair, a big nose, thick lips, a face full of flesh, and a sinister expression. Standing at the door of the bar, it was like a meat mountain, blocking the door. From behind the meat mountain, a petite figure came out. It was a girl holding a black lace umbrella and wearing a luxurious Lolita outfit. The girl was no more than 15 years old. Her whole body was not as thick as the strong man's arm. But the meat mountain showed absolute respect to the girl. And John Killen keenly noticed that the blonde and blue-eyed man next to him became tense instantly after seeing these two people. The bar was instantly quiet. Even the band that was playing consciously turned down the volume of their instruments. Raushin looked around the bar with his intimidating eyes, and then spoke in a muffled voice. "What? No one came out to greet us?" The bar owner was sitting at a table near the door. When the two men entered the door, the owner was very surprised. He couldn't help but look in the direction of John Killen. However, he twisted his neck halfway, and stopped the movement abruptly because he didn't know what he thought of. John Killen didn't miss this detail. He was sure at this moment that the boss had recognized the wrong person. The boss should have greeted these two people, not himself. After a while, the boss also reacted. He stood up from his seat, walked towards the door with a kind smile on his face, and said, "Sorry, you two. I'm old, my organs have degenerated, and I didn't notice your arrival in time." Just as the boss walked in front of Raushin suddenly stretched out his right hand. He grabbed the boss's neck and lifted him up into the air easily. The boss's hands tried in vain to grab the meat mountain's fingers, and his legs kicked desperately in the air. But in the face of absolute power, his struggle was useless. In just a moment, the boss's face turned red. He made a ho-ho sound. John Killen's hand moved to his waist, ready to draw his gun. But Nolan, who had been tense, suddenly pressed John Killen's arm. He shook his head slightly without being noticed. The bartenders in the bar were all big guys with exaggerated patterns on their bodies. They were stunned by the sudden change. Only then did they come back to their senses. One by one, they rushed towards the meat mountain with bottles, metal bars, and long Damascus scimitars. The meat mountain loosened its grip without any warning. The boss fell to the ground with a thump, holding his throat in pain and breathing heavily. The bartenders rushed over. Although the meat mountain was big, it reacted quickly. In just a moment, the two sides had fought back and forth for several rounds. There were screams in the bar. The boss half knelt on the ground, waving his hands desperately to stop the bartenders, trying to squeeze out a sound from his throat. "No, don't do it." The bartenders listened to the boss very much. They stopped immediately. And the girl also spoke lazily. She said in Japanese, "Hirao-kun, stop it."